Well, well. If it isn't Little Miss Crazy herself. How you've evaded capture this whole time, I'll never know. Did you check that you weren't followed? Ah, but there's almost never truly a 0% chance of something happening. For instance, someone somewhere could be making a major scientific breakthrough right this very moment. And come tomorrow, the sky could be filled with pterodactyls. Then it's good enough for me. Why do you keep insisting on coming back, I wonder? Were our therapy sessions really that important to you? That sounds like your condition talking on your behalf. Do not mistake my curiosity for compassion. You are here on a merely intellectual basis. And I am not scared of you in the slightest. Humans are deceptively simple. Once you learn to read them, they become predictable. Wavering between a handful of defining emotions which overwhelm the rest. Love, pride, envy, courage. How could such a simple entity possibly qualify as dangerous? And what exactly is sanity? How could any man presume to define it? What humans view to be sane is simply part of a narrow range of consciousness. Don't you see? Most behaviors are inherently insane! I conjecture that right now, somewhere out there, there's a psyche test that would have me down as insane. Don't you see? You're special. When you were first referred to me, I thought you'd just be another standard case. Ordinary, predictable. But I don't understand you at all. And in the absence of order, my emotions have taken over. Your eyes, they were so beautiful when I first saw them. Your hair, unkempt, but possessing a certain radiant beauty. Need I spell it out for you? Your very existence gave my life a push. Against the rigid inertia of routine that had defined my existence until now, the predictability of it all fades with each concurrent visit you pay me. There's a room prepared for you down in the basement. Not in plain view, of course. I'll have to show you how the mechanism works. You are free to leave whenever you feel it's safe, of course, but part of me hopes it will remain dangerous for an eternity. To be moved by such a trivial emotion. Perhaps that is my special brand of insanity.
Well, well. If it isn't my muse. How are you faring these days? Should I be checking my pockets right about now? Really? Now that would be a first. It seems you've forgotten that when we first locked eyes, it was right after I noticed your hands making themselves at home in my pockets. Is that why the judge let you off? Because you said that to him and he was senile enough to believe it. And to put the proverbial cherry on top, you had the nerve to follow me home as I left the court. I'll admit, I certainly didn't expect the old hide in the boot of your taxi trick. And here we are. To think I was jealous of you. I could never be so shameless. You are such a strange specimen. I wonder what makes you tick. And then came the letters. I think this character should have done that instead. I think this part of the crime could have been substituted with this. It's as if, from the moment we first met, you've done nothing but insult my intelligence. Yet, not once could I bring myself to hate you. Strange, isn't it? In a way, perhaps this is what I've always wanted. Not more bootlicking, not more praise. Just someone who would call things as they were. So, someone knew all along. Your letters were always so painfully accurate. No one else but you would dare say it to me, to call me out for my mistakes. Where were you all this time? Why did you wait until now? I'm sorry. It's not your fault. Not your fault that there's so little time left. Hey, let's go to your favorite spot. Grill buys, was it? You shouldn't keep their business card in your pocket. And now, after all those years, we're finally even. Let's go. It'll be dark soon.
Objection, Your Honor. This is clearly entrapment. Sorry, Your Honor. I got a bit too carried away. If you've forgiven my outburst, please say nothing. Thank you, Your Honor. You're as benevolent as you are wise. Now, for my final submission. As my client asserts, she was preoccupied with, and I quote, a private sexcapade. Emphasis on private. The witness couldn't have seen what was going on unless they went out their way to do so. That's right. The witness was on the scene of the crime. And I do mean on. So you see, there was someone else present. Therefore, further investigation is needed to prove whether our client is in fact guilty of the murder alleged. That is all, Your Honor. Couldn't have done it without you. Hey, you're the one who figured out the witness was a voyeur. Can you believe the witness would spy on our client like that? Then have the audacity to testify against them. Who do these people think they are? It was never gonna work. His fate was sealed the moment you agreed to take on this case with me. Just like old times, huh? Say, are you sure you don't want to work like this more often? Maybe even come work at my agency? Curses. Foiled again. Why does fate have to be so cruel? Are you making the first move? I'm no better than our witness. I should have looked away the moment we first met. But I couldn't. You're volunteering? Okay. I promise not to let you down. Let's go somewhere. A place we'll never forget.
How are the beans, Natalia? What about the new grind? Was the flavor profile adversely affected? How many times have I told you not to lie to spare my feelings? Nonsense. Those settings were an affront to the senses. No customer would ever like it. Of course they do. Ever since I saw you in the cafe that day, I knew you were something special. You earned your spot in my heart. Not because you were any good at making coffee, but because of your gentle honesty. You were excessively ordinary. But that made you extraordinary. You were the first one to criticize what I thought was the perfect cup of coffee. Sorry, Mr. Barista, sir. I think the top is just a little too frothy. It's making it hard to taste the coffee itself. Such a simple critique, and yet, from the moment you said it, I could understand exactly what you meant, what you were trying to say. You grounded me, taught me not to be so presumptuous, and thus, the perfect cup remained elusive, something to be found over time, not through the labors of a single week. So, thank you. You taught me that sometimes we are all able to find the most extravagant qualities in even the most simple of things. For that, I am truly indebted. And that is why it wounds me to hear your lies. Do you not see that I don't care what you say as long as your words ring true? So that was it all along. The missing step. Ma'am. Right. I suppose there are things we both could work on, but no matter what, I want you to remember my wish. I hope our love never dies down, and that you'll never end up acquiring a taste for mochas.
Oh my god, you're actually on time. I thought I'd never see the day. That's a good one. I thought you hated these types of movies. Too much testosterone and explosions, was it? Shh! The movie's about to begin. I can't believe it. He's gone. If they don't, I'm burning this place to the ground. Dinner's coming up soon, isn't it? I don't think I have the appetite for it after that. I don't want you to wait for me. I'm the ultimate secretary. If I'm doing my job properly, then no one has to do any waiting. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. There's only so many things you can do with carbon monoxide before it becomes illegal. Besides, when you're around, it feels like I've been given something better to do in my time. Something much better. Anyway, it seems my appetite is back. I'll go wherever you go tonight. Let's make it somewhere special.
Well, well, well. If it isn't my favorite support. Kirk, you're kinda cute when you're shy, you know that? Nervous as usual? Let's start with some norms. No pressure or anything. Whatever you want. But just having a look at our comp, I'd recommend something tanky. Ooh, interesting choice. Okay, just don't int in lane and we should outscale NP. Well, I do have a high MMR. Yep, that's because he's the second best mid laner in the world. Right behind me, of course. Okay, listen carefully. Make a beeline straight for the turret, but as soon as he appears out of the fog, turn and go here. Don't you trust me? You're right. It didn't. But what it did do was distract the fed enemy mid laner while we sieged their base. Those few extra seconds meant all the difference. Pfft, second in the world, my ass. And there he was, tunneling on the hard-stuck support. Say, even when we duo together, you're always the support. Why? Your AD is pretty good, though. Why don't you play it more often? I'll do it. I'm ranked first in the world for all 5 roles, remember? Why does everyone think I can't play the support? No, the only thing I like is to have fun. And who says supports can't carry? I've seen you do it plenty of times. Well, time to do the real thing this time. But let's reverse the roles. Please, what's the worst that could happen?
Do you not plan to chase me away? It happens every time you see me. It is understandable. But I cannot deny that it causes me pain. You're asking me directly? Very well. It is because you cannot stand the sight of me, is it not? A mere cripple, disturbing the able-bodied. Clearly I am far beneath someone of your station. Then what is it? Is that what ails you? Your conduct has indicated nothing but the contrary, when those children were troubling me with their cruel and petty insults. You've stopped them. When no one else would dare approach me with even an inkling of benevolent intent. There you were. And here you are. If you won't believe in yourself, then I'll gladly take your place. Let us carry this burden together, you and I. I come because my eyes stare, but they can no longer see. I fear I am not long for this world. Now I am guided only by the sound of your voice. Such a divine thing it is, and it appears I am not alone. To be caught alone in your final days, and then to be hastened to the grave with lingering regrets. I can think of no sadder fate. Therefore, I want there to be no regrets. I can only hope that the feeling is mutual. Then let us journey to the valley beyond together. If anything, it promises to be better than this one, doesn't it?
Yes, I can tell. You've grown so much. Remember when we first met? You were so reckless. Always charging into things. Getting yourself injured over and over. You'd show up in my place and I'd admonish you for it. Then the cycle would repeat itself. But now that I've started, I just can't stop. Was it your love of literature that drew me toward you? The fact that our words just seem to roll so easily off of each other's tongues? Your compassion? You're right. More tea? Don't thank me. Thank the Great British Empire. Both tactful and direct. I wish I could learn to be more like you. And what do you see when you look at me? There's nothing impressive about me at all. Don't say things like that. Could you really call this manly? I might look strong. This all just feels like a lie. I'm glad to have met you. To have someone who is more than just a comrade. I hope you never leave my side. But of course, I'll have a fresh pot prepared by tomorrow. In the meantime, is it okay if we just sit down for a bit? I want to enjoy your company for just a while longer. If that's okay with you.
Well, don't just stand there gawking. Give me a hand, will ya? Thank you. I didn't mean to get so snappy back then. Sorry. It's not supposed to be, though. What we're doing is helping people. Shouldn't that be gratifying instead? You're right. Gosh, I hate it when you're right. If the stars are not deceiving me, yes, the plans we drafted together, they're supposed to be the best possible way to give these people aid. What a funny thing the divine eye is. I can't read your mind at all, no matter how much I try. But the temptation no longer exists. It's because I know you only have the best in mind for me. Otherwise, you would have left a long time ago, and you wouldn't even bother indulging my self-pity. But listen to me, talking all fancy like. Daylight's burning, and we've got people to help.
Right in the middle of the day? You really are a brave one. So, how's your equipment? I want a fair match this time. I see you fixed the bolt. How can you stand this? Going back? Living with the rest of those idiots? How can you stomach something like that? It must be so painful for you. You need to work on your romantic side. Let's just have our match. It's a tie. So what if I did? My arms get tired too. You don't understand what it's like. I'm just that person. A coin with two sides. Some unnatural and obscene thing. No. Not if it's just me. My condition can be unreliable, even at the best of times. I'm surprised I haven't forgotten who I am. Or maybe I have, but failed to realize it. It wasn't always like this. How short-sighted. It's a shame I won't have the pleasure of your company. There's no hiding anything from you, is there? Please promise me that you'll never leave me behind. Me and her. Please. Thank you. That's all I ever wanted to hear.
So you finally got discharged. I was beginning to wonder if you'd ever pull through. This time was extra stupid. You could have been killed. And then I never would have forgiven myself. You should have just let me take that bullet. It was meant for me, not you. Why did you have to interfere? The views would have been through the roof. Reporter gets shot, live on air. That might have been the ticket we needed to get into the big leagues. Of course it did. You deserve your success, much more than me. If I could be useful to you, even as a stepping stone, I think I'd be happy. It's true, though. I can't do anything on my own. It's always you who's chasing all the leads, filing all the paperwork, eating all the bullets. 6 months. 6 long months of fighting for your life because of me. That's not true. Of course I want you by my side. That was 2 conditions. No, keep them both. Maybe if it's my neck on the chopping block, especially now, I've been waiting 6 months to say this, but it's good to have you back.
Ah, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. I just knew you'd be here. I want you to try this. Don't be shy. It's a recipe I've been trying to perfect, but alcohol is such a complicated ingredient. Please be honest with your opinion. Like usual, is it? I see. Please come back to the lab when you think you've had enough fresh air. I hate to see you like this. There's also the letter. How can you stand being called such terrible names? Is it that much of a taboo to do what you're doing? Remember when you first made me? I was so clumsy back then. tripped right down the stairs and broke into dozens of little pieces. But my orbital lens remained functional. I saw what you did. You put everything else on hold to try and reconstruct me, a mere robot, to make me into something better so that it would never happen again. Of course, that didn't stop me from getting hit by a bus the next day. Why? Why are you doing all of this for me? You don't expect anything out of it? Oh, I know! I could dust the glass jars once a week, and the generator. I could pick up the coal from... But that might be too much for me. Oh? Please tell me. I have a company? Oh, very well. If that's all you ask. My company is yours from now until the day I'm decommissioned.
There you are! I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about today. Yes, it is! And it's all thanks to you! Very long. It's already stretched around several blocks. Seems word has spread quickly. The menu? Yes, we should really work on that, shouldn't we? Make ourselves stand out amongst the competition! Anything for you, my love. Behold, our brand new clinic! I still go there, of course, but it's not a place I'd want to stay at for too long, let alone run. After all, you're not there. Do you remember the promise we made to each other that day? To achieve our dreams, each of us would have to compromise. But in hindsight, I think the agreement was clearly skewed in my favor. Until I met you, that was all I ever thought about. How difficult is this? How difficult will the next day be? Why does everything have to be so difficult? But no more. Now, my love. We shouldn't keep our patients waiting.
Oh, my love. I didn't think you'd remember. That's a good one. The first time I saw you, you didn't look at me at all. Not even once. My staff, on the other hand, were looking all over for me, wondering where I could have run off to after the show was over. The old slip out through the bathroom trick. Works every time. Then you might have lost that volleyball game. I didn't want to distract you with my presence. Yes, that's it. You shouldn't say something like that. So you do remember. But have we done it? Have we truly made a world our children could be proud of? Say, would you like to listen to my latest song? For your ears only, of course. I hope I don't sound like a... No. Prepare to get your socks knocked right off. I know how fond you are of numbers, dear. So I made a song about math just for you.
Jeez, you got me. How's this thing supposed to go again? Ahem! Wow, you seem to have snagged me on your fishing line. Not that it's anything to be surprised by. I've always been a catch with the ladies around. Unfortunately, I don't think we can ever be together. It's forbidden love. People might get the wrong idea, you know? But I'm glad you think this way of me. Why, if only you were a bear. Preferably a pink one with a staff. But alas, it was never meant to be, was it?